They moved like phantoms through the lives of others. Sante Kimes and her son Kenny, a mother and son whose names would become synonymous with betrayal and murder. Masters of disguise, chameleons of crime, evil often wears a friendly face. Sante, the puppet master, Kenny, her willing instrument. Together they preyed on the vulnerable, seeking wealth and control. Their methods were insidious, their hearts cold. Their crimes spanned decades, from petty cons to murder. They left a trail of bewildered victims, people who opened their homes only to be met with treachery. The Kimes duo didn't just steal money, they shattered lives and peace of mind. The bond between Sante and Kenny was twisted, a mother's love warped into something sinister. Kenny was her creation, molded into her protege in darkness. Their alliance fueled their criminal enterprise, making them bolder and more dangerous. Together, they were a force of pure malice, a nightmare duo haunting the American dream. Their story is a chilling reminder: trust can be fatal, and sometimes the greatest threat comes from those who seem closest. Sante Kimes wasn't born a criminal, but her childhood taught her to manipulate and deceive. She learned early that the world was a place to be exploited. Petty offenses became rehearsals for grander schemes. She mastered the art of the con, the power of a well-told lie. Sante moved from place to place, always seeking an advantage. Her moral compass shattered, leaving only ambition. She could be anyone: a damsel, a businesswoman, a friend. Her transformations were flawless, her charm chilling. She used intelligence for gain, weaving intricate webs of deceit. Marriages were strategic, tools for access and legitimacy. Men were drawn to her, blinded by her allure. Kenneth Kimes Sr., a wealthy motel magnate, was just another means to an end. For Sante, relationships were transactional. The pattern was clear: charm, deceive, discard. Each step brought her closer to her ultimate goal: more power, more wealth. Her life became a cycle of manipulation, leaving devastation in her wake. Sante's story is one of relentless ambition and cold calculation. She was a predator, always hunting her next victim. Sante Kimes was a master of reinvention. Dozens of aliases, forged documents, she could become anyone. Her ability to operate in plain sight made her crimes nearly invisible. Insurance fraud, staged accidents, arson, her schemes were bold and varied. Laws were obstacles to be outsmarted, not obeyed. Sante's arrogance grew with each successful con. She lied to victims with chilling calmness, never hesitating. Her confidence was unnerving. She believed she was untouchable. She targeted the kind, the trusting, the lonely. Studying weaknesses, she tailored her approach to exploit them. A kind word, a fabricated story. She knew how to play on emotions. When trust was gained, she struck, leaving victims betrayed and broke. Her cruelty was matched only by her cunning. Sante's crimes were not just about money, they were about power. She thrived on control, manipulating lives with precision. Each victim was a stepping stone to her next scheme. Her web of lies grew ever more complex. Sante Kimes was a predator in human form, and for years, no one could stop her. Kenneth Kimes Jr.'s childhood was a training ground for crime. Sante dominated every aspect of his life, isolating him from the world. She taught him that rules were for others, and the world was theirs to take. Kenny became her shadow, her confidant, her enforcer. His loyalty was absolute, his identity shaped by her will. Under Sante's influence, he transformed from a boy into a hardened criminal. He learned to lie, cheat, and steal, all for her approval. The line between right and wrong vanished. Their relationship was deeply disturbing, more partnership than parenthood. Some whispered of an unhealthy closeness, an emotional entanglement. Kenny craved her approval, even as she controlled him. Their toxic bond powered their criminal enterprise. Together they were more dangerous than either could be alone. Kenny was trapped in her web, perhaps never realizing it. Their loyalty to each other was unbreakable and deadly. Two souls intertwined in darkness. Their partnership would lead them to ruin. The Kimes duo targeted the wealthy elderly, seeing opportunity in vulnerability. They insinuated themselves into lives, feigning friendship while plotting theft. Forgery became their weapon. Deeds transferred, signatures faked, bank accounts drained. Sante and Kenny navigated bureaucracy with criminal skill, moving quickly before discovery. Victims were left devastated, their fortunes gone. The Kimses vanished. David Kasdan, a longtime friend, discovered their fraud and paid with his life. His murder was a chilling example of their ruthlessness. Their quest for riches led them to New York City and Irene Silverman, an 82-year-old former rockette. Her Manhattan townhouse became their ultimate target. Renting an apartment under false identities, they plotted to seize her property. Silverman grew suspicious but underestimated the danger. The Kimeses' plan was audacious and cold-blooded. They would stop at nothing for their prize. For Sante and Kenny, trust was just another tool to exploit, and their victims never saw the betrayal coming. Irene Silverman vanished in July 1998. One day vibrant, the next, gone. Suspicion quickly fell on Sante and Kenny, their lies unraveling as evidence mounted. Police found forged documents and Silverman's personal papers in their possession. Kenny confessed, detailing the plan and implicating his mother as mastermind. Sante denied everything, but the truth was undeniable. Silverman had been drugged and strangled for greed, a townhouse as motive. Her body was never found, disposed of in a New Jersey dumpster. The city mourned a woman known for kindness, killed by those she sheltered. Sante and Kenny showed no remorse, their behavior chilling. Sante tried to control the narrative. Kenny seemed resigned. Their crimes had crossed from fraud to murder, a point of no return. Their world of deceit was crumbling. The darkness they embodied was now fully exposed, and justice was closing in. Sante and Kenny left behind more than empty bank accounts. Victims lost life savings, homes, and the security they'd built over decades. The emotional toll was even greater. Betrayal cut deep. Many had trusted Sante only to discover it was all a lie. Fear replaced trust. Suspicion replaced openness. The world became a more dangerous place for those they deceived. Families were torn apart by loss and legal battles. Irene Silverman's friends mourned her. David Kasdan's family faced the horror of his murder. The Kimes' crimes rippled outward, affecting entire communities. Victims felt violated, ashamed for being deceived by master manipulators. Trust was shattered, some became reclusive, wary of new acquaintances. The joy of life was replaced by vigilance and fear. Sante and Kenny left a legacy of emotional scars. Their cruelty extended far beyond financial ruin. The pain they caused would linger for years. Irene Silverman's disappearance sparked a multi-state investigation. Detectives connected the dots, tightening the net around Sante and Kenny. Their luck ran out. They were apprehended in New York City. The elaborate web of lies was about to unravel. The world would soon learn the full extent of their evil. The trials were sensational, exposing decades of fraud and murder. Witnesses described Sante's manipulative charm and Kenny's obedience. Evidence was overwhelming. Forged documents, incriminating notes, confessions. Even in court, Sante tried to manipulate, but her act was wearing thin. Kenny was quiet, perhaps realizing the enormity of their crimes. The legal drama played out under intense media scrutiny. Justice was finally within reach. The world waited for the verdict. The verdict was clear: guilty. Sante Kimes received life in prison without parole. Kenny was also convicted. Justice was served, but the scars remained. Sante's reign of terror ended behind bars. She died in prison, unrepentant. Her death closed a dark chapter in American crime. Kenneth Kimes Jr. continues to serve his sentence, his life wasted in the shadow of his mother. Their story is a tragic example of manipulation and the destructive power of a toxic bond. The Kimes saga is a grim, cautionary tale of greed, depravity, and the ease with which trust can be exploited. They left behind a legacy of fear and betrayal. Their names are forever etched in true crime history. Monsters can smile, charm, and deceive, and walk among us. The darkness they embodied is a warning for us all. Evil sometimes wears the most familiar face.